Well, good afternoon. Hey, thanks for joining me today on Show Up Central Oregon, another edition. I am very pleased this afternoon to be joined by two gentlemen that are doing some great things for the community, Matt Abrams and Gavin Burke. Hey, how are you gentlemen this afternoon? Uh, sorry, I had muted you. How are you guys this afternoon? Let's try that again. All right, the show has started off to a bang here. You guys have something really, really neat going on right now. And I just applaud you guys for stepping up and in this time. I'm not sure who do you want to, Matt, do you want to start? Gavin, do you want to start? And just kind of let me know what it is exactly. It's SOS Bend, but what is it and what's sort of the inspiration behind it?
Gavin, you want to take it away?
Sure. SOS Bend is something we began a little under 3 weeks ago when I got a call from Matt saying that there was a call with various organizations in Bend, Deschutes County, City of Bend, Chamber of Commerce, and a few thought leaders. And we were trying to figure out how to help small businesses generate cash flow as we knew that the need would be great given the heart attack that the economy had just received. So we had a talk about different options, and as the conversation went on, we began to wonder, well, what's the actual data? What are these numbers that we're thinking about for both Bend and Deschutes County and overall Central Oregon? So after the call ended, we crunched some numbers and realized that this is significant. It's wouldn't be bridged by any type of short-term bridge financing or charitable donations from individuals. It would need to be something more substantial. And on the back of that, we, myself and Matt, thought about, well, we have a huge community here. People who want to spend, who would be spending if they weren't confined to their homes in this lockdown. So how do we free up those dollars? How do we get people out shopping again when they can't? And what would that look like? So we came up with this concept of store credits, essentially gift cards. But we needed to create a centralized environment for that where all merchants could come and all customers of those merchants could come in one central location and have the technology to facilitate that, and also the security and trust with different service providers that would make that seamless and efficient. So it was quite in hindsight, quite a task that we took on, not really knowing what it would involve, but we were very fortunate in pulling in a tremendous group of very talented people from Bend and some further afield who have tremendous technical knowledge and expertise and sophistication. We're able to put this platform together, and people on the marketing side who have a lot of experience in gathering a momentum and attention for something like this. So we are here now, 2.5 weeks later. We are onboarding merchants as we speak very successfully, and we will be launching to consumers next week so that they can come and essentially buy store credit, which will be redeemed when the economy reopens through a whole seamless digital system through cell phones and various codes that will be passed back and forth. It's pretty cool technology.
Yeah.
So apart from the spirit of what we're trying to do, it's also been very rewarding to see all this come together.
Right. Yeah. I was privileged to be a part of a presentation that you guys did, and I think the thing that for me was the starkest, and I think Gavin, this is sort of what you were talking about, is that most businesses have this 27-day kind of cash buffer, and where are we right now? I lose track of days. So what? How many days into this are we right now?
Too many days.
I remember it was March 15th.
Yeah, I think you're right. So yeah, so we're over a month right now. Yeah, that was just such a stark. I mean, that need obviously popped forward, and I appreciate you guys stepping forward. Um, Matt, can you tell me a little bit about what that sort of process looks like, and what those needs and how the next steps are going to look for you guys?
Yeah, so process in relation to the merchants and the customers. Is that what you were
Yeah,
referring to
I
there?
just let me put up the website just so that people
Yep.
understand that right now it's just going to be, merchants are signing up at this point in time is basically what's happening, correct?
Exactly. So it's really a two-phase launch here. It's, as Gavin outlined, it's a marketplace, and it's a marketplace for consumers to be able to come on and be able to purchase credits for use later at their favorite local businesses. So in any marketplace, we're in the phase one launch right now, where we're getting the businesses registered and signed up. So that's what really this week is. We open that up on Monday of this week. I think we're probably at about 150, maybe upwards of about 200 different registrations of businesses at this point. And then next week will then be the consumer launch, where consumers can then come on and actually buy credit through a frictionless e-commerce experience. And I think it's really important here. We have spent a lot of time saying, for the merchants and for the customers, merchants in particular, these business owners, it's got to be as simple as possible, because they're already going through hell. They're already through the SBA PPP loan process
Mm-hmm.
of staying on hold for hours on end, or
Right.
not even being able to get through, of websites that don't work. That this has to work. It has to be trusted. It has to be something that the merchants say, great, this is going to make my life easier. So we've really tried to approach it from that aspect, as to what does it mean to be frictionless, and at the same time, what does it mean to truly imbue a community trust?
Right. Yeah. And obviously, you guys gave some good thought into that. I mean, can you just sort of talk to me a little bit? Why there is that such high level of trust? I mean, what were the steps that you guys were like, we got to nail this, and this is what we have to do?
I think a couple different aspects there. So, one, we've been partnering with community organizations from the very beginning, and have to really give a lot of shout out beyond just the team that Gavin mentioned that came together here, but the civic and community organizations. Katie Brooks from the Bend Chamber, the county, the city, EDCO, TAO, East Cascades. I'm sure I'm leaving some off. First Interstate Bank and Patty Moss. Everyone has been working on this in some capacity of a ancillary support. But if I talk about the trust aspect, for instance, it's important that we're able to ensure that a individual that comes on and registers themselves as a business owner claiming a business, that they're the actual business owner. So we're partnering with, for instance, Katie and the Chamber to help with the verification process as well, to make sure that is as trustworthy as possible. We've put in place our own systems from an automated fashion to make sure that this is a community trusted platform. And frankly, we have to get that right, because we just can't. We're community members here ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We can't afford to break that trust whatsoever.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And I appreciate you guys doing that very much.
And I think it would be important just to add on to that we don't take the flow of funds doesn't come through us at all. It's completely outsourced to a reputable partner who does this globally. So all the money is flowing straight through, and obviously this is a non-commercial enterprise. Everybody's volunteering their time, so it's really trying to get that money to the merchants quickly and as securely as possible.
Yeah. And Gavin, you mentioned a little bit on why you guys started this. I mean, was there some other underlying reason, just other than just you wanted to give back?
Absolutely. I think the scars of 2009 are fresh, 2008, 2009 in everyone's mind, and what can happen to a town like Bend, and it's reliant upon a whole pile of different factors, different constituents, and just looking at the numbers that day after that meeting, it became pretty clear if you ran kind of similar unemployment numbers, how big the problem could be. And this has a consequence for all of us. It's the ripple effects across the economy. If revenue shuts down significantly, it goes to the tax revenue for the town, and all the municipal services that we enjoy and benefit from impact on schools, all the way through to real estate valuations and the consequences that has. So it's important to keep these businesses up and running. It's important to keep the people employed, for all our sakes. As a community, we're all in this together, and it's a great need, and the time is now.
Right. Yeah.
Matt, can I answer? Can I comment
absolutely.
one more thing there?
Yeah.
So, Gavin is spot on. That's absolutely, core to what he said. I think, though, very pointedly to your question as to the why as well, is so many people are feeling helpless right now as to what can I do? What can I do to help? What can I do to problem solve? And I think that one of the amazing things is that in other initiatives as well that I see, there's so many people who are raising their hand and they're saying, I want to be able to be part of a solution. And I think that, this is where I think both Gavin and I are, if we're not problem solving on something, then, we're worthless. And I think what's so important here is that this is, an opportunity to not be on the sidelines for anyone. And out of this crisis, we have an incredible opportunity for people to be coming together, and they are, of trying to solve big problems that haven't been solved, that they've been ignored. The can has been kicked down the road. And I think that community involvement of, hey, it's up to us. It's not, we can't be relying upon others. I think that's a really important piece of, look, let's figure it out. Let's iterate. Right. We've said from the beginning, this may not work. It's an experiment. We hope it does, but let's get in the trenches and try to make an impact.
Yeah. And let's step forward here. So obviously as a business owner, you would register like I showed. And that process, it sounds like you're working with a chamber, other people to verify, so trusted verification from that standpoint. What is then the next step coming up? What's going to happen then, so we can look forward to helping these businesses?
So the next step will be for the consumers. So once we have this volume of businesses open for business on this virtual site, consumers will then come in, they'll register, and they will input their credit card details, again through this third party that's very secure, and they will go to the various businesses and decide how much they want to spend. And that varies from $20 to $1,000. And once that occurs, they'll get a receipt, a message of confirmation on what they've spent. The merchant will get a message that this money has been spent and from whom, and then it goes into a virtual ledger concurrent with the payment that is made through this payment processor. And then there's a period where the economy stays closed, but when it reopens, the redemption flow is pretty seamless. As I mentioned earlier on, it's all around cell phones. So there are no physical gift cards, which increases the frictionless of what we're trying to accomplish. And it's very seamless process where a consumer brings up a code on his or her phone, and shows it to the merchant, whether it's a seller or a server behind a counter, and the transaction is made digitally. And then we record the transaction, and the balance is reduced accordingly.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be a very easy process for people to use on the other side. well thought out, well planned. Any barriers that you guys have run across? I'm sure there's been a few, but what are you going to encourage people to do once we get out on the other side?
I think one of the barriers, I guess, two questions there. One of the barriers is first the verification of the merchants, obviously, making sure they are who they say they are. Another piece, which is how do we make sure that as the economy reopens and these businesses reopen, that there's not just an immediate flood of people saying, "Hey, I bought these credits," and they get spent all at once. So that's another one of I think the key aspects that we're working through right now. You asked a second question there. What was the second question?
What are you like? So outside the other side, basically, we're now, these credits, we purchased these credits. What are going to be the easiest things to? Sorry, I'm going to back up because in some respects, this to me, I applaud the two of you because we also know that as Americans, we only, what percentage of gift cards do we? I mean, it's only like, what is it, 50% that we redeem. So this actually, I mean, as a consumer, I want to, give money and use that money. But the reality is that this is also a way to help these businesses in this time. And, and so we get to make the choice whether or not we're like, I want to redeem this, or I'd be like, honestly,
that's right.
I forgot, and It's okay,
Yep.
And so that's a great opportunity.
I think on that point, I think that the push I would do, this is the call to action for the audience in this regard is, our push when we do the consumer launch is if we say there are 100,000, full-time residents in Bend, I don't know what the latest number is, but let's call it that. If 1% of the full-time residents in Bend went online, spent $50 and $50 at 25 different businesses, that would equate to over $1 million pumped directly into the small businesses in our economy immediately. That's 1%. And we are a much wealthier city compared with so many others.
Mm-hmm.
And I would issue that challenge out there from a community perspective. We're like, 1% is like the low bar in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where you're telling me we can't get 10% of the community
mm-hmm.
At $50, and doing that for 25 different businesses. Like that's we can all step up.
How are you guys doing as far as getting the businesses to sign on? How can we help spread that word a little bit to make sure that all the businesses that need to be on there are on there?
Yeah, I think Bend is a word of mouth town, and so it's very important for people to be aware. And I think your willingness to host us today has been much appreciated. And but more of that, get the message out, make people aware. To sign up, we have an automated process. We have an option to come in and do it manually with our team. It is a straightforward process. It requires you to be by your primary phone of your business, and an automated call will come in. You're given a PIN, and then you're verified, and you upload your logo, and you can put in a message to your customers, and then you're done. And then the payment process comes in at a later point when purchases are actually made. So it's very straightforward. It's and intended to be easy because these businesses are going through so much right now. We're not trying to add more complexity to their lives. And we also, just in terms of how we've set this up, we want to get Bend right. Bend is our primary focus, mm-hmm. and it's our pilot. But there is the capacity to do this for other communities. Neighboring communities and towns in Central Oregon, and we've had early conversations, but also across the state. And we've had from Eugene to Portland levels of interest if they could use this technology and this platform, and we've built it that's possible. But we obviously want to get it right first with Bend, but that conversation extends to outreach from Europe, from Australia, even India, and so it's something that could be used further afield and benefit more and more communities.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Matt, is there anything that we've missed so far that you want to make sure that we tell people that are potentially watching?
That this needs to be viewed as the interconnectedness. I think Gavin may have touched on this, but the interconnectedness of our economy and how we rely so much on our local and small businesses it impacts everything. And I don't think it's well understood. I think the other piece is simply the team that has come together to volunteer their time on it, their energy, their intellect. There are folks that they themselves are not in a great cash position, and they are, putting aside oftentimes some other day jobs or aspects, try to help other members of the community here, and that is what this is about. That's what makes community, and could not be more thankful and appreciative of what people are doing.
Yeah. So next steps, obviously, if you're a business, go register. When's the sort of tentative launch of the ability to purchase at this point in time?
So tentative launch right now is next week. I'll keep it loose like that.
Yes.
So next week. And I say that as well because it comes back to this trust piece. We cannot screw this up. It's a one-time thing for the merchants. It's a one-time thing for the customers. And like any software and technology platform, there are always bugs. And Gavin mentioned it's been, I think, officially 18 days since we literally created this, started coding, and going full speed ahead. And that means sometimes you need to, the old adage, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Sometimes you need to slow down to speed up. And if we need to pump the brakes to get things right, then frankly, we're caught in between this. Hey, we need to go fast to get money into the hands of the small businesses. That's what's driving us, but we got to get it right. So that's the timing.
Yeah. Well, I applaud you, gentlemen, for getting it right. I guess more than anything else, that is the true important thing from the community standpoint. Gavin, is there anything you would add at this point in time that we may not have included?
No, it's all, as Matt mentioned and I previously mentioned, it's about community, and it's about we're all in this together. This is something that we all need to think about and how can we help, and this is a good platform. Merchants, businesses are drowning in information. There's so many things out there that they need to think about and read and come in and factor in. We're really trying to bring all of that into one place where cash can be put into their hands securely, and so it's really intended to be very safe, very easy, and with the intention of the community coming together. And we'll see where we are, but we're off to a good start.
Yeah.
So hopefully more businesses will come in and give consumers more choice.
Yeah, this is exciting very much. I thoroughly appreciate you gentlemen for doing this, and I thank you on behalf of the community for stepping up and doing what is being done right now. Gavin, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, I'm just a small cog in the wheel here, guys. So
you're a small business yourself, and this gets back to the ecosystem. I know you're taking time out of this, and just thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. My sincere pleasure. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys. We'll have you back on next week, and so we can maybe give some updates, and we can. Whatever I can do to help get the message out, let me know. And if you guys need the raw file off this, I can send that to you guys, and you can cut it up. You can do whatever you want with it. So,
can you Can you post Gavin's personal phone number and address at the end here in case we do run into any issues?
Yeah. We can wait, whatever you want, Matt. I'll do whatever you want. Yeah, let's that might not be good. So yeah, thanks, gentlemen. I appreciate it, and we'll talk next week for sure, in some capacity. And like I said, if we need to have you back on, we'll have you back on. So thank you guys. You guys can jump out of the Zoom room if you want. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So SOS Bend, that is going on, and it's really great. SOSbend.com. Check it out. If you're a business owner, I would encourage you to go and take a look at it right now. Register, get yourself in there. If you're a small business owner, and can sell products, take some time to do it. So that's going to do it for me for this afternoon. I've got some other work I need to go do. Also going to be assisting with the Combat COVID-19 tonight. Thank you again for joining me. I appreciate it. And of course, everyone, show up for Central Oregon.